What's up, y'all? It's me, Jor'Dan Armstrong, and you're tuned in and watching Gospel Goodies.
Gospel goodies.
Gospel goodies. Gospel goodies.
This is Gospel Goodies.
This is Gospel Goodies Radio on Philly's Favor 100.7 FM and 99.5 HD3. I'm Aaliyah Faust.
And I'm Lamont Sanders.
And we are joined by Jor'Dan Armstrong, who just dropped a new song called My God. How are you today, sir?
Yeah.
And I am extremely excited to be here, extremely excited about new music. And it's just up for me right now. And I'm excited to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're huge fans. We've been following you for a minute now. I think this is our first time ever chatting.
Yeah, I think so, for sure. Yeah, at least as far as my memory goes. But like I said, I've seen you guys so much. Love what you do. It's an honor to be here with y'all.
Much appreciated. And I think the last time I personally actually saw you was I think it was like 2019. It was at the Stellar Awards, the Roots magazine anniversary event. And you performed my jams.
Right.
Because Favor and Kawasaki, I was like,
yeah, that's crazy. That night was really crazy for me because it was kind of bittersweet because I had just performed at the Stellar Awards show, which was one of my biggest things that I ever wanted to do, kind of in our genre. And that same night, I got the news my grandfather passed away, and so I got the news, and then I had to go to the Roots magazine performance and perform, and it was so hard before I got on stage. And it's like when I got on stage, it's just like everything just opened up, and I was actually kind of able to relieve myself during my performance. So that night is something that I'll probably always remember, because I had something so great happen for me, but then I lost someone. But God was still good, because that night became one of the most greatest nights of my life, definitely one of them. So that was a fun night too. It was fun.
Wow. That's
and look,
really
I hope this show on stage, it's like, oh Lord, but no, folk really enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. It was really kind of a release for me. So that was pretty dope.
Nah, you really did your thing. I saw both performances.
Okay.
And then I went to the. So you did your thing, and word has circulated, about your loss, and of course, our heart went out for you. And even watching you go through it, the strength of it was like, wow, like and God had you, man. You went right through it. You rocked it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah, you really couldn't tell, and it's kind of amazing how like music, even being a healer, helps you get through that. So that was really dope.
Yeah. Music has been there for me for a long time, and I think that that night I really realized that how music really helps me through things. Usually when I'm creating music, I'm trying to help someone else, or a lot of times I'm speaking to other people. A lot of times I'm not really ministering to myself, and I think that night really showed me that I've been speaking to myself for a long time. I thought I was talking to y'all, but I was talking to me. I was speaking, those lyrics that God gave me a lot of times, were helping me, and I didn't even realize that until that night. That was one of the key nights that I remembered that. So yeah.
And one thing we really enjoy about your music is that vibe. We kind of mentioned off air before we started. You love God, but your style is not churchy. It's very hip and very relatable. And you've been doing music since I think about 2009, and you still stick to your unique style. And I just think your delivery is super relative to who we are as a new generation of believers. So I wanted to know, what was it like for you stepping out against the grain like that in your career?
Good.
Yeah, that's a great question. It was really tough in the beginning. So let's take it back to 2009. Me coming from a small town, I grew up singing gospel music in churches and solos and all of these great things, and I was singing more traditional songs. And when I released my first album in 2009, I think people were really surprised that, it was so urban, because they only knew me from singing cover songs, some of the most traditional gospel songs. So when I first came out, I was getting a lot of side eye. Like I said, back in 2009, everybody was saying, "Oh, this must be a part of the Illuminati." Everybody was saying that. Hey, what's wrong with this kid? He's got, that doesn't sound like gospel music, doesn't sound like Christian music. And I think that, if I was not as strong or had a stronger relationship with God, I probably would have been destroyed. And I think that just my strength and my belief in what he told me to do, I felt so strongly about it. I didn't care what people were saying. And eventually, things began to change. The more I pushed forward, the more doors opened, the more love I received. And not to say it was tons of bad things, but there in between all that good, there was few little things here people were saying and stuff like that could have detoured, sent me the other way. So I'm really grateful that I was able to still continue to do what I did up until now. And then now, the sound has changed, the trends have changed. It's not crazy to have a gospel song or a Christian record with the 808 and some snaps and a little auto tune and, all of that stuff. Now it's cool. And so it's kind of dope that I'm able to be, even named in that transition in gospel. And people do that, and people give me my flowers. I'm so grateful for that. But it was hard in the beginning. No lie, it was real tough. But I just kept pushing forward, and I'm so grateful I did because, it's like I kind of created. God gave me a sound that I feel like only I can do, and so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that.
That's good. That's real good. You stay true to it, and much respect to you, bro, because I know exactly what you're saying, and everybody who's listening knows exactly what you're saying. It's just it's unfortunate because it's only our music that doesn't want to be diverse.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You can go to any other genre and they got it like this with a little twist of that. Yeah, but us, it's like if you're not hand clapping, it's like
that's right. Yeah,
really. But the funny part is, we're the ones who serve a God that we don't put in the box.
That's right. Absolutely. And it's really funny at times, but it's different when you're like paving the way. I know people talk about paving the way, but like literally paving the way, you have to keep going the way that no one goes, and eventually, the grass starts to open, it dies right there. You can see that little pathway, and then eventually you lay concrete. And now it's a street. And now people put your name on the street. And so now you went through all of that hard work. And then later on, you get that praise and you get that acknowledgement and you get that, and things start happening. And that's kind of what happened to me, I believe. And, now it's cool. And I'm totally grateful. You know what I mean? Because now I'm able to reach more people. The music is more acceptable. And, radio stations are picking it up and everyone wants to hear what I have to say. And I'm so grateful that God took his time with me and built me up so strong that, I'm able to go out in front of whoever and proclaim, the message of Jesus Christ through my music. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to do that. And I'm glad for all the stuff that I read and stuff folks are saying. It actually built me up. It made me stronger. So it's been a great journey. And we have so much more music to come. I believe God is only starting with me. This has only been the beginning, even though it's been 10 years, it's still the beginning of what, he has planned. So I'm grateful.
Right. I believe your season is coming. And I since we're talking about your strengths, we definitely want to talk about the strength of celibacy. We got a show. We got a part of our show that is a love series with Lamont Sanders.
Okay.
And I gotta say, I read and saw your testimony. I'm like, yo, this we need to talk about. So, man, please share with us what was that like? Like, how, because obviously you have the character to withstand what you withstood with the music industry.
Yeah. I would say it was very tough, man. It was tough. I remember growing up, they would, your family would tell you, you're shacking up, no shacking up. And You don't live with no woman until you get married, son, and this, grandson, and all of this. And I was like, well, that ain't in the Bible. In my brain, I didn't say that out loud to them, but I said that ain't in the word. I ain't never seen that. What scripture is that? And so, I think I realized, when I was actually in the situation, why they were saying that. Because it's really tough whenever you're in love with someone, you live with someone, you sleep in the same bed with a person, and you want them. That's just this period. That's you want them. And so you're really just playing with fire. You're really just going to eventually put yourself in a situation to where you're going to slip. And so when I was in the situation, I started realizing and said, okay, so this is what grandmama was talking about. This is what, Papa was telling me, and so, but it was really hard. I think what really helped us too was the fact that in my weak times, she was strong. In her weak times, I was strong. And I think that we really played a great song together in that situation, because there was sometimes I was weak. I was so weak and I just didn't understand. I was angry. I started having headaches. It was like, I was like, man, I got, like, what is going on? You know what I'm saying? So, but it also helped us too, to really get to know one another. I think too, a lot of times, sex and different things of that nature really blind you in your relationship. And a lot of times that's your focus. A lot of times you don't really get to know who the person is. And, we got a lot of kinks out of our relationship during that time. And we also learned a lot about about living with each other. And when we got married, it was kind of smooth sailing, because we had lived together for 2 years or so. And I remember, I knew what she didn't like. She don't like socks on the floor on that side. I don't like stuff over there. She likes stuff this way in her bathroom and this and that. And so, it really helped us a lot. Honestly, it made me stronger. It made our relationship stronger. It made me a better person. I learned, also I couldn't run away from arguments. I couldn't run away from discussions. We lived together. We were both in Atlanta here, and our families were in Louisiana. Usually when something go down, you just like, well, I'm gone. I'm going to my mama's house, or I'm going somewhere. It was almost like a boot camp. We had to literally, and we had a small apartment. We had to literally, there's nowhere to run. I guess you just sit on that end of the couch. I sit on that end of the couch, and we look at TV. Eventually, we're going to talk about what happened today. And so it just made us better, And so, again, this story isn't for everyone. That's my story. Right. I'm actually grateful that we went through that, because it taught me a lot, and it made us stronger, man. And like today, I'm a talker now. I didn't like to talk about stuff. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to have hard conversations. And now we're able to communicate with one another, and it's been a breeze, really. So I'm grateful to God for that time in my life, and I'm glad that I'm able to speak about it, because I feel like it can help some. I think we do a lot of bashing, when things aren't the way that we think that they should go in someone else's life, in our community. And, sometimes things that seem so bad can work out for that person's good. And that did for us. So I'm grateful.
That's good. Could you help somebody identify, I believe I was reading a little bit, and I think you said something about being able to identify when one of you would get frustrated. Mm-hmm. And you would get into a tizzy.
Yeah.
People don't understand it's still a frustration. But how do you identify it was the devil? Yeah. Even in his tempted state, it still was he creating that type of confusion. Yeah. So how do people identify that?
Well, I identified it because I knew exactly what it was. I mean, I knew God didn't want me to have sex with her. I knew that. So out the gate, I already know that if I'm feeling crazy about that, I know what God said. I know what God wants for us. So if anything, I couldn't even go to God and say, God, why won't you let me do this? I know that that's not what he wants for me. So that's what was really frustrating. It was like, man, I see her. And, we had to change a lot of things in the house. We had to change dress when you're dressing getting dressed to go somewhere, you know, I'm gonna step out. And, you know, it was really like just having a roommate with somebody you're in love with. Like, you know, so we had to change a lot of stuff. We couldn't spoon, you know, folk like to spoon, and I got to stop the spooning. All of that stuff. Yeah, you got to cut it out. Cut it out, man. I'm telling you.
Stop the spoon.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
You got, you know, and a little smooch. Sometimes people can't handle a smooch. So, you know, we even kind of dumbed that down a little bit. You know what I mean? So we had to set boundaries. And I think that's what really helped. You know, you can't just be free and think that you're just gonna, you know, you're so strong, you just won't fall for temptation. That's it's impossible when you live with a person. So eventually somebody gonna break. Somebody's gonna feel good today, or somebody's gonna have a great day, and they just gonna come and be so happy and in love, and you know, something possibly can happen. So just setting boundaries, I think, really helped us a lot.
Good.
Yeah,
that's
man.
good. That's good. So you're able to set boundaries even outside, even as a married couple now.
Yes,
same boundaries, because
that's
what?
Right.
If we get free with anybody, it gets.
That's right. That's right.
Boundaries are important. You're right.
That's right. Good. Absolutely, man. So that's what we did.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see how this all changed, like the trajectory of your relationship too. Because I feel like if you can survive 2 years of living with somebody you love and not doing anything, you can survive anything. So you talked about these boundaries. Can you share like what were like your 3 top tips or boundaries that you guys practice to help you stick with it?
Yeah, one was definitely praying together. We did pray together. I think that was something that really set the foundation of it, because we had the same goal, was to, you know, to practice celibacy, and you know, we knew why we were doing it. We prayed together. I'm not gonna say we prayed every day and we were on our knees at night and doing it. It wasn't that like that, but you know, we definitely had the same goals, and I think that helped that we were on one accord in that part of our relationship. Second thing was, like I said, the boundaries. You know, everybody's boundaries are different. You know, mine was I couldn't see her get out of the shower, grab a towel. I couldn't. That was gonna mess me up. That was gonna mess me up. So I need to exit. I got to go. Or she did some things too. She would just say, you know, or she would close the door, get herself together, come out of the bathroom, dressed and ready to go wherever we had to go. So yeah, boundaries. Third thing is, I would say definitely communicating. You know, kind of letting each other know what I'm feeling kind of weak today. I might be a little rough. I need you to tone it down a little, or turn it up, or you know, shut me down when I'm in spaces. Even though I hated that part, I hated the rejection. That was rejection to me. You know, I was like, man, she rejected me, dude. And then, you know, you go through a phase where you're like, man, is she still attracted to me? Is it this? Am I still fly? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, what's up? You know, like I know what we said, but you still don't want me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those moments happened for me. And so I was even battling with myself. And, you know, I'm grateful that she was strong, like I said, in the times that I was weak, and vice versa. You know, it really helped. We were really a team. It took teamwork. It took like-minded people, and it took boundaries. Those are the 3 things that really helped us get through that. And, you know, y'all just hearing from me. I'm sure she was struggling every day too. She was like, oh, I just want to be just so fine. I'm sure she was going through it.
Yeah.
Well, let's backtrack a bit and talk about your new song, My God. We heard it was inspired by a California sunset. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, man. You know, California is so great. You know, we would love to live there one day when we able to pay $10,000 a month or something. Mm-hmm. But, you know, for now, we just visit. You know, California is a great place, great weather. And every time I'm there, I get inspired musically. So even with this record, My God, of course, it has that summer feel. It feels in California, it feels like every day summer to me, or year round. So just the joy that people get in the summertime, the happiness people feel in the summertime is, they dropping the tops, they rolling windows down, they turn the music up. It's just fun times. I wanted to make a record that felt like that, but with the message of Jesus Christ. And also, I was influenced by actually social media. On social media, we're always bragging, talking about. Social media is really kind of about that. We have moments where we brag and we want to show folk what we look like today. We want to show folk what we're eating. We want to show folk that we're driving somewhere. Show folk we out of town on vacation. And it's a lot of bragging and boasting. And I've even felt in that place sometimes too. I want folk to see what I got going on every once in a while, but just making a record that actually glorifies and brags on God. And I know that slogan or that phrase is so cliche, but I wanted to give it a new twist, just to really, it's really a song stroking God's ego, telling him how awesome he is and bragging on him. And I think that if we had a record like that people can sing in this day and age now, just a new version of that, I thought it would be dope. I thought it's a record that people could listen to no matter what place they are in their life, no matter what age, no matter who you are, you can really relate to this record. I have so many friends that aren't completely saved, and they love these records. They know who God is. A lot of people have the foundation of God, but they don't have the relationship. And hopefully records like this can kind of, bring them into a relationship with God after hearing how important God is in their life and how they're unable to even, the reason why they have all these great things is because of God. And so, hopefully it ministers to someone. It even ministers to me. It's ministered to a lot of people around me. And so I'm excited about this new record. And, it's been a long time coming. I feel like 2020 was wiped out, man. I was like,
2020 didn't count.
Yeah, I feel like 2019 was last year. I'll just take 2020 out, So it's honestly though, it's been 2 years, and I'm just glad to be back with a record that feels fun, feels happy, that's rejoicing, because a lot of people had a tough year last year.
Yeah, and I love the whole idea about bragging about God.
Yeah.
It's not even hard to believe, but we come across a lot of people who find it hard to brag on God. But like you said, we brag on social media. We brag about all these other things we have. So what do you say to people who are kind of afraid to, like yourself, just go out there and even like us, just talk about God and talk about all the great things he's done for us?
I would say listen to that record. I feel like it will really inspire you. I mean, that's really kind of one of the main reasons why I create records like that, to give people a different perspective on it. I think, too, even with people that don't go to church, a lot of people aren't really even going to church now. The Christian is changing. The image of the Christian is changing now. I'm not able to go to church every Sunday now because of what's happening in the world. And so, now a lot of people that didn't even listen to gospel music or didn't even listen to messages from leaders are getting the access to do that now through social media. And so I think that, just changing the perspective, listening to a record like that can kind of inspire you and actually put the thought in your mind and say, wow, I guess God did do that for me. It's hard for me to believe that God didn't do something for me, but for some people, they need that boost. They need that motivation. They need that reminder that, the reason why I have what I have, the reason why I am who I am today is because of God. And so, wow, I listened to that Jor'Dan Armstrong song and it really changed my mind. Like, wow, dude, I do drive a Benz. I don't deserve a Benz. I do live in a crazy place, this with a high roof, with a view, and I don't deserve that. Wow, God has really blessed me, so I think just changing the perspective or telling someone who the source is important to me, and it's really the nucleus and the foundation of that song. So Anybody listen to that record, I think they should listen to that song. That'll be my answer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Lamont, any last questions before we wrap?
Nah, I'm listen. I heard the record before, but now I'm gonna listen to it again with a different.
Yeah,
perspective.
man. Yeah.
That record is hot. I'm about to get in the car, go to the barber shop. I'm about to drop the top and let it do what it do.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. And look, I'm gonna go listen to it too. I definitely want to say, thank you to you guys, and I want to tell everyone out listening and watching this too that I really appreciate the support I've received throughout my career, and I have so much music that God has given me that I'm about to release, and I'm just praying and believing that it touches someone and it changes someone's mind, it changes the narrative in their life, and it changes their perspective on who God is to them. And I'm just here to bridge the gap. I really am, and I think God is really using me in a way that He's never done before, and He's done some great things for me. But this season of my life, I feel God is really about to elevate the message that He's given me, not just me, but the message that God has given me. So I'm happy to be here, and I love gospel goodies.
Thank you.